Hi, thank you for joining us today. My name is Jennifer Bacall, and I am the Assistant Manager for Youth Services in the Programs, Partnerships, and Outreach Department of the Harris County Public Library System. Today is the final day in our Spring Break series, and we are honored to have very special guests here from the Houston Grand Opera. They're going to be singing and showing us the images from a book that they've created. It's called The Armadillos Dream. Please stay tuned because afterwards you'll have the opportunity to ask questions of the performers. Thank you again for joining us, and with no further ado, let the show begin.
All right. Hello, my friends, and welcome today. Thank you so much for having us. From Houston Grand Opera, my name is Jeffrey Peterson.
And I'm Alejandro Magallon.
And today we are bringing you a fantastic, wonderful story, The Armadillos Dream. Now,
El sueño del armadillo.
That's right. Now, my friends, you may have heard of armadillos, and you may have even heard of dreams. But how many of us know what an opera is? Alejandro, how would you, my friend, best describe what an opera is?
Well, you know what? I'd like to put it in a very simple way. We at Houston Grand Opera, we like to say that opera is a story and it's music. And then what happens when you put those together, it's this. Listen, can you repeat after me, Jeff, and everyone over there at their homes or at the library?
Let's
Ready?
do it.
Story.
Okay, so stories.
Music.
Music.
Put them together. Opera!
Opera! Ooh.
Sorry, I'm the tenor.
That's okay. I am apparently not a tenor, but that's okay. That was still really exciting. So one more time for all of our friends, how do we make our own opera with our own voices?
Ready? Story.
Stories.
Music.
Music.
Opera!
Opera! Ooh, that's a much better key for me. I like that.
There we go, Jeffrey. Awesome.
Fantastic. I love that. So there's even a little bit of a song that goes with our story today, and I think we can teach just a little bit of it to our friends at home. We'll call this an audition. We would like for you to be our choristers in our storybook opera today, my friends. So it's going to be really simple. Alejandro is going to help lead this with us a little bit. I will sing a line, and you'll repeat it back to me. Alejandro will help lead that.
Absolutely.
So the first line goes like this. So sing, Sandy, sing. Your turn, friends.
So sing, Sandy, sing.
Excellent. Sing by the bayou.
Sing by the bayou.
Very good. So we'll try that one more time. Again, it's just how it happens in the song too. We'll sing the line first, and then you'll repeat it back to us. So here we go, my friends. 1, 2, 3. So sing, Sandy, sing. Your turn.
Sing, Sandy, sing.
Sing by the bayou.
Sing by the bayou.
My goodness, that is fantastic. I know all of our friends at home and around all of Houston are going to be excellent at this, and it's going to happen lots and lots of times. So, my friends, when I point to you or when Alejandro points to you, you'll know that's your turn to jump in and help us sing our Armadillo song. So, without any further ado, here is the Armadillos Dream song. Have you ever met an armadillo? If you'd have, you'd know. Curious as cats, but not as furry. Gentle from head to toe. Sandy was the name of this armadillo down by the bayou. Listened every day to the opera music, each time cheering him anew. Here it comes. So sing, Sandy, sing. Your turn. Sing, Sandy, sing. Sing by the bayou. Sing by the bayou, sing high, sing high, sing low, sing low. Soon you'll be the star of the show.
Sandy heard his friends sing gorgeous music, serenade so sweet. The cricket and the frog and canary singing, chirp, ribbit, and tweet, tweet. Sandy dreamt of life upon the stage, down by the bayou. All of his persistence led to this. Sandy's dream came true. So sing, Sandy, sing, and your turn. Sing, Sandy, sing, my turn. Sing by the bayou, your turn. Sing by the bayou, great job. Sing high, sing high, sing low, sing low. Soon you'll be the star of the show. Yay! Good job, everyone.
Wonderful job, my friends. Give yourself a round of applause or a pat on the back or maybe just a little snap for success. Wonderful job, my friends. I think they're all hired. I think we have our new and improved HGO chorus.
Absolutely.
So excited to work with all of you.
The Armadillo chorus.
That's right, the Armadillo chorus. Now, the interesting thing about this, just like an opera, okay, all stories come in many different languages. So today, our story is not only going to be read in English, it's also going to be read in Spanish. So I will be reading our story in English.
Y yo estaré leyendo la historia en español.
So, without any further ado, my friends, it is time to read our story. This is The Armadillos Dream by Dennis Arrowsmith, with translations by Alejandro Magallón.
El sueño del armadillo por Dennis Arrowsmith, traducido por un servidor, Alejandro Magallón.
Have you ever met an armadillo? Believe me, my friends, if you had, you would know.
¿Alguna vez has visto un armadillo? Sabrás que es un curioso animalillo.
They are curious critters with tough, armored skin, but gentle in nature, rather timid within.
Si bien de aspecto raro y de piel dura y blindada, dulzura y timidez oculta su morada.
Our story is about an unusual guy
Un chico inusual quien tuvo un gran sueño.
who had a big dream, one he just had to try.
Que un día persiguió con todo su empeño.
This armadillo was a fellow named Sandy. He loved digging for bugs. In his shell, he felt dandy.
Este buen mozo de fino caparazón, llamábase Sandy, tenía un gran corazón. Cazaba insectos a orillas del pantano Buffalo Bayou desde muy temprano.
Sandy lived on the banks of the Buffalo Bayou, which flows like a river, a little bit like a swamp, too.
Lento y serpenteante entre parques y edificios, de Houston un orgullo con muchos beneficios.
It wraps around Houston past buildings and parks where people run, bike, and paddle near landmarks. Now, Alejandro, I want to pause for just one moment.
Pause.
Sir, have you ever run a triathlon?
I have never done it. It's been one of my dreams, but I bet it's pretty tough.
Well, for our friends that don't know what a triathlon is, what I'm talking about, a triathlon is a race. It's a race where you have to do 3 different events. Usually it's like a run, a bike, and a swim. And it, sometimes can take hours. Sometimes it can just take a few minutes. So for our friends, and maybe, for our friend Alejandro here too, I would like to invite all of you to get up and move with me and do our own triathlon right where we are. If you're comfortable getting up and doing it. So wherever you are, stand up and join me in this little workout. So the very first part of our triathlon, we need to run down Buffalo Bayou. On your mark, get set, go. Let's go for it. Let's go for a run. Very good. Excellent. And stop. The next part, we need to get on our bicycle. Maybe you have a bicycle with those cool hand pedals, or maybe you just have a regular bicycle here. Ride your bike. We're going to ride our bike for many miles. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. No,
Wait, Jeff, I just passed you, man.
And we need to freeze there. And we need to jump in our canoe. Everybody jump in your canoe. Jump back in your canoe. Grab your paddle and start rowing. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Alejandro, there's a hole in the bottom of the boat. We need to row faster. Row faster.
Get the water out.
Get to the finish line. We made it, friends. Dry land. Safe at last. And
That was
a gold medal to go with it.
Yeah.
Bravo, friends.
Everyone
I'm a
did
little
a great
sweaty,
job. Fantastic.
I have no breath. Alejandro, can you pick us up where we left off there?
Absolutely, my friend. Well, let me take a couple of breaths, okay?
Oh, sir. Yes, please. Yes, please. That was a workout.
Very close to the bayou, junto al pantano.
I lost my space. Is one awesome building.
Hay algo impresionante.
The Wortham. It hosts many shows that are thrilling.
Un lugar muy elegante.
It is shared by the ballet and the Houston Grand Opera,
Albergan,
which offer the Nutcracker
el cascanueces,
and
la
La Traviata.
Traviata. Empresas que
Bolivia, Bolivia, no la tazza, il canto quella è rito.
in questo paradiso ne scoprai nuovo di.
The Houston Grand Opera puts on a fine show, telling stories with music and words, don't you know?
Música y palabras, qué combinación. ¿Te gustaría escuchar la mejor canción?
Now, as I mentioned before, our dear Armadillo had a dream.
Sandy tuvo un sueño como antes mencionamos.
Can you guess what it was?
¿De qué se trataba?
Do you know?
¿Por qué no averiguamos?
Well, I think I have an idea. I think his dream, and you can drop it in the chat if you agree with me. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Alejandro, I think his dream was to, yes, of course, that was what it was, to have the world's largest dirty sock collection. That sounds like a fantastic dream.
I don't know about that, Jeff. You know what? To be honest, I thought that Sandy would be very successful if he puts like a vegetarian taco stand.
A vegetarian taco stand.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a dream. I like that. Friends, go ahead and let us know in the chat what you think his dream is. We'll take a few seconds for that. I wonder, I don't know, maybe there's a hint in our book here. What could our dream for our dear Armadillo be?
I wonder. I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's find out. The one thing on Earth
En este vasto mundo,
that filled up Sandy's dreams
no más deseaba Sandy que llenaría su alma hasta lo más profundo.
was one day to sing.
De la ópera un día ser la estrella.
It made him burst at the seams.
Y así cantando en esta vida, dejar huella.
But the question, my friends, was clear. How could such a creature learn how to sing and, on stage, be a feature?
Sí, mas ¿cómo lograría criatura semejante poder actuar un día y aparte ser cantante?
Well, walking along,
Caminando tambaleante,
in his usual way,
tal como solía,
Sandy encountered
se topó
a cricket one day.
con un grillo chirriante un día.
What luck, by Jiminy, to run into this bug. His warm chirp chirp was a theme song that Sandy dug.
¡Qué suerte! Pensó Sandy. Topar con dicho insecto de cálido chirrido e insólito dialecto. Cri, 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 cri. Cri, 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 cri.
Well, hello.
Buen día, dijo Sandy. ¡Qué lindo es tu cantar!
What nice music you make. I'm longing to sing. How much work does it take?
Así lo haré yo un día. ¿Cómo he de practicar? Ridículo tontuelo. Tú nunca cantarás. Ve y mírate al espejo. Jamás lo lograrás.
Singers are tiny. It's a delicate art.
Careces de talento. Este arte es delicado. Tus patas no hacen cri, cri. Estás condenado.
You don't have the legs, I'm afraid. Bless your heart. But Sandy just shrugged
Indiferente.
and moseyed along.
Siguió por su camino.
He couldn't give up on his armadillo song.
Cantar era su sueño. Ahora su destino.
Do you remember our armadillo song, friends?
Yes, that's right.
Let's go ahead and sing our armadillo song to cheer up our friend Sandy, shall we?
Muy bien.
I'll start. 1, 2, 3. So sing, Sandy, sing your turn.
Sing, Sandy, sing.
Sing by the bayou.
Sing by the bayou.
Very good, friends. Now, near the edge of the bayou, there came a great splashing,
Al borde del pantano contenta salpicaba.
where a bulbous old frog
Vieja y bulbosa la rana,
sang an aria quite dashing.
de una aria cantaba.
This impressive style could be just the ticket if Sandy could mimic the frog's ribbit, ribbit.
Su estilo impresionante podría ser el boleto y croando cual anfibio. Su
Let's see,
sueño.
Let's see if I can, ribbit, 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 ribbit. Well, hello.
Buen día, dijo Sandy. Qué bella voz sonora.
I love your deep voice. I'm longing to sing.
Así lo haré yo un día. ¿Serías mi mentora?
It would make me rejoice. Don't be ridiculous, you silly thing. Just look at yourself. You will never sing.
Muy amplia es mi garganta, mi voz angelical. Por eso los anfibios cantamos sin igual.
Singers are amphibious. You can't hit this note. Pardon the expression, but there's no frog in your throat. Well, but Sandy just shrugged
Indiferente.
and continued his quest.
Continuó con su trayecto.
He couldn't give up. He would give it his best.
Cantar era su sueño predilecto.
I love that. Do you think we should sing our armadillo song to cheer up our friend one more time?
That's a good idea.
Very good. Let's go again, friends. So sing, Sandy, sing your turn.
Sing, Sandy, sing.
Sing by the bayou.
Sing by the bayou.
That makes me feel better.
Me too. Let's go on.
Now, on down the bayou, Sandy heard overhead
Andando en el pantano, oyó bajar del cielo
birds softly singing who might help him instead.
un dulce y claro trino. Se dijo con consuelo: los lindos canaritos me enseñarán a cantar.
These were canaries with voices so sweet. They flew through the air and they sang, tweet, tweet, tweet.
Volando por el aire y trinando sin parar. Tweet, 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 tweet.
Hello.
Hello, buen día, dijo Sandy. ¡Qué canto tan florido!
I love your bright song.
Así lo haré yo un día y mi sueño ver cumplido.
I'm longing to sing. Well, what am I doing wrong? Well, they said, don't be ridiculous.
¡Ridículo tontuelo!
You silly thing. Look at yourself.
¡Tú nunca cantarás!
You will never sing.
Mi canto es divino, doradas son mis alas. Jamás tendrás la gloria de un Plácido o de Calas.
See, singers are graceful with sun-colored wings. You'll never know the joy that singing brings. But Sandy just shrugged,
Indiferente,
as determined as ever.
ignoró tal necedad, andando a paso firme y con gran autoridad.
The thing he disliked was when someone said, never. And the thing we should never do is stop cheering up our friend Sandy. So let's go ahead and make him feel really good, really big, and really strong with our Armadillo song. Here we go, friends. 1, 2, 3. So sing, Sandy, sing your turn.
Sing, Sandy, sing.
Sing by the bayou.
Sing by the bayou.
Great job.
Excellent. You know why? Porque sus patas eran cortas
Sandy's legs were quite short,
y largo era el sendero.
and this journey was quite long.
¿Encontrará su canto después de tanto esmero?
How far must he travel to find his own song? My eyelids are heavy.
Así mismo se dijo.
I'll curl up in a ball.
Mi casa, mi cobijo.
But then, out of the blue, a great storm swept around. Sandy tucked in his shell, by his feet tightly bound.
Rotundo de la nada llegó un gran aguacero. Y Sandy en su coraza y en brazos de Morfeo.
Now, as I'm sure you're aware, Houston knows a good storm.
Sabrás que de tormenta Houston es muy consciente.
But this one was magical,
Pero esto era mágico.
And
Esto
not-
era diferente.
and not quite the norm. That's the start of our storm song here, friends. So wherever you are, this may be a little tricky, but I think we can go ahead and create a little bit of magic right where we are, right here, right now. So friends, what I'd like you to do to create our own magical storm wherever you are, I think we need to go ahead and let's see, maybe we snap our fingers and make little raindrops, little drops. And eventually those raindrops are going to start to speed up, right? If you can't snap your fingers, that's okay. You can go ahead and just tap your fingertips like this. Tap your fingertips together. That does just the same thing. But as the rain starts to speed up, we rub our hands together and we really start to hear it starting to bounce off the windows a little bit. Maybe bouncing off a car or the leaves or the grass. But then the wind picks up and we pat our knees or we pat our chest or our shoulders. It's really coming down hard now. And maybe there's even a crash of thunder or a flash of lightning. But don't be afraid, friends, because as all things do, every storm will pass. And with every last drip and drap and drop, this rain will eventually come to a stop.
Speaking of which, 1000 gotas de colores tañeron cual campanas.
Colorful raindrops plopped pitches low and high.
Y un mítico arcoíris apareció con dianas.
And suddenly a rainbow unfurled through the sky.
A happy rainbow.
Sandy's paws left the earth.
De súbito el pequeño del suelo es levantado.
He was floating on air. as if by unseen hands.
Por Céfiro y por Zeus, con celo y con cuidado.
He was held with such care, and swirls of thick fog wrapped him up like warm coats as each paw dissolved into musical notes.
Anillos de neblina envolviéronle a raudales, convirtiendo sus patitas en notas musicales.
And then, with one clap of thunder, there remained just his shell.
Con el estrépito de un trueno rimbombante, su cuerpo se ha esfumado, su concha está vacante.
But what happens next? Would you like me to tell? What happens next in our story here?
Let's see. De vuelta en el pantano.
Back in the bayou.
Sandy se ha transformado.
Sandy was changed from before.
Flotando en la corriente, a la ópera ha llegado.
And his shell floated down to the opera's stage door. Surely through fate,
Seguro que el destino ha sido responsable.
he'd arrived at this place.
Alguien le trajo dentro, lo cual es razonable.
Yes, a crew member. A crew member brought him inside just in case.
Just a little pause, Mr. Jeffrey. Is this the opera building?
Yes, that is in fact the
Where is it
actual.
located?
That is the side of our opera building, the side that runs where Buffalo Bayou actually runs right next to the Houston Grand Opera.
So this is basically seen from the aquarium then.
Yeah, that's basically looking from across the street at the aquarium.
Okay, fantastic.
Neat stuff.
Very neat.
Let's see. Where are we? Ah, yes. Now, in this current production, they were missing a prop.
Faltaba un instrumento.
Without it, this show would surely come to a stop.
No seguiría el evento.
Now, this opera is The Pearl Fishers.
Pescadores de perlas. Debe ser la autoría. Sabía componerlas. Nadir, marino apuesto, héroe del escenario, haría sonar la concha, un viento milenario.
Our hero needed a shell. They had tried out a trumpet. Everybody try a trumpet with me, friends. That doesn't work. They'd tried out a drum. Everybody go ahead and give me a nice drum roll wherever you are. That doesn't quite work either. And they even tried a bell. That wasn't even a bell. But those seemed all wrong for this exotic setting. Perhaps there was something that the director was forgetting.
Tomando diligente dicha concha suplente, el héroe del programa soplóle airosamente.
Then the hero blew into the shell, music ringing. At last, Sandy's dream had come true. He was finally singing.
Y así el sueño de Sandy al fin se vio cumplido. Estaba cantando. Todo tenía sentido.
And the audience,
el público,
to its delight,
extasiado,
heard a beautiful tone.
testigo del talento.
It was as if, at long last, Sandy found himself home.
Consumido e inmerso en su elemento.
It's wonderful. Everybody, let's give a hand to our wonderful performer, to our friend Sandy, the wonderful Armadillo. Fantastic job. And he went and he took a bow. He took a bow and he said, "Did I shine my shoes today? Oh, that's right. I don't wear any shoes any day." And by a miracle, he had been triumphantly transformed.
Así como un milagro tras tal epifanía, su otrora voz ahora era una sinfonía.
And then the curtain came down on the opera performed.
Cuando el telón caía, fue unánime el consenso. El público aplaudía con un fervor inmenso. ¡Bravo!
And-
¡Bravo!
And from far and wide, fans and critics agreed this show with its shell was superb. Yes, indeed. And they shouted things like "Bravo!" What does "bravo" mean in opera speak, Alejandro?
Well, actually, it's Italian. It comes from an Italian word which means brave. Which means this individual, this creature has lots of courage for being on stage and opening themselves and being passionate about what they love. Bravo! Bravo! And you know what? Let me tell you something. Now that we're speaking Spanish too, estamos hablando español. En español es lo mismo. Bravo, brave. ¿Verdad? Amigos que hablan español, bravo es lo mismo que en italiano. Brave.
I didn't know that. And they also said encore, which is another Italian word, which basically just means we want more.
Yeah. Also, the French use it a lot. Yeah.
They do. They do.
Yeah. It means what? Do it again, right?
That's right. Do it again. Now, from this sweet dream, Sandy never awoke. He sang lovely music, and that, my friends, is no joke.
Cantando con bravura, a todos deleitó, y de este dulce sueño ya nunca despertó.
Go down to the bayou.
Si bajan al pantano,
I give you this task.
les doy esta misión.
On each muddy bank, I promise, go ask.
Esténse quietecitos, oirán una canción.
The crickets,
Los grillos,
and the frogs,
las ranas
and the canaries will say,
y los canarios ahí verán. Y el canto sempiterno de Sandy escucharán.
you still hear dear Sandy. He sings to this day. So sing, Sandy, sing.
Sing, Sandy, sing.
Sing by the bayou.
Sing by the bayou.
And that is the end.
El fin.
I want to give a round of applause to all of our awesome choristers and wonderful friends at home today for helping us sing along and tell our story, and maybe even living their own dream and helping Sandy realize his dream today. So thank you for having us today and for all of your help.
Muchas gracias a todos que estuvieron presentes con nosotros. Houston Grand Opera con Jeff Peterson y su servidor Alejandro Magallón. Esto fue un placer. Gracias por cantar con nosotros y por hacer de esta experiencia más placentera. Muchísimas gracias. We have a few questions, maybe? Oh, there we go. There it is.
Hello again. Thank you so much. That was so fun. I
Thank you
think
so much.
everybody enjoyed singing and moving with you today.
Wonderful.
I wanted to share some comments from some of our viewers when you were asking about what they thought the Armadillo's dream might be. Some that maybe he was dreaming for a best friend. Someone thought that maybe he dreamed for a lot of food.
I wasn't that far, huh? Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that we all had that thought.
Yes, exactly. I think we all like to have plenty of food around, right?
That's
And
right.
Aiden, who is a 5-year-old who was joining us today, said that his dream was carrying his dog on top of his head.
Wow. That reminds me of another storybook that we do. Remember, Jeff? It's the Opera Cat. Remember that?
That's right. Opera Cat. That's right.
It has to do with that, yes.
Oh my gosh. I was going to ask you if there are any operas about animals or that include animals.
Jeff, would you like to?
You know, I'm trying to think about it a little bit. There's one that we talked about or we sang a little bit of today that is not necessarily about animals, but has a lot of bird references to it. It's called Die Zauberflöte, or the Magic Flute, by Mozart. We have Papageno, who's a bird catcher, and he's just searching for his sweet Papagena. You have the Queen of the Night, who just looks like a really angry version of Big Bird, essentially, throughout the whole opera. There's a lot of bird influence.
But the different characters are also based on animals, like the huge serpent, the Tamino. has to fight at the beginning. But also, now that our friend Eileen mentions about the dog, there's a really, really interesting thing that happened in an opera. A very famous opera singer, I think it was Renee Fleming. I'm not sure. I think it was Renee Fleming. They were needing a dog for a super on stage. She brought her dog. But whenever the dog was on stage, was perfect. The dog did what he needed to do. He was taken to his corner, and he was perfectly set very well, and then was taken backstage. But whenever the dog's owner starts singing, so this is Renee Fleming, started singing arias, the dog backstage would sing along. She would go, beautiful, beautiful aria sang by Renee Fleming, and all of a sudden you hear the oh, 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 oh. And we did not stop until the very end of the opera. And the dog got a special mention. And actually, that dog sang. There's a little adorable little book called "The Dog Who Sang at the Opera," and it's based.
That's right.
That sounds wonderful.
Well, it looks like we have a few questions coming in here.
Yes.
Sarah asked.
William mentioned "Me gusto mucho," so you had a big fan there.
Thank you. Gracias, William.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Another question that came in is asking if there are new storybook operas that you guys are thinking of producing or already producing.
It's funny that you mentioned that. We can't, I don't know how much we're allowed to say, but there are two new books or two new stories that we are currently working on right now. I'm going to just kind of wait for permission from a person kind of hiding in the back if we're allowed to tell at least what the titles are. But one of them that I'm working on has to do with a little bit of American folklore. It's not a true story, but it is based in the United States. It is based in the South, and has a lot of kind of, think about like Anansi the spider, has a lot of those kind of same qualities in our story. So we're actually working on that currently. Alejandro, I know you're working on a new one right now as well.
Yes, correct. And as you very well mentioned, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about, but I'm really, really liking it because it talks about the elements of what we are actually made of, and it's based on the beliefs of native people from southern Mexico and Central America, which it's a big surprise. I love it. It's going to be really fantastic.
So we are allowed to tell you what they're called. We can't tell you exactly when they're going to be released because, like I said, we're still working on them, but they will be coming to you soon. The first one that I'm working on is called Lula, the Mighty Griot. That's Griot. And that has been written by our dear friend and former Houston Poet Laureate, Deborah D. Mouton.
Ooh.
That's very exciting. I can't hardly wait to hear you guys doing that.
And we actually had a lovely program with her this past summer that was more for adults. So that's really neat that, she's got more projects in the works.
Yeah, and on my behalf, me and my dear teaching artist friend, Blas, is also, we're working on the other opera, the storybook, which is going to be called Agua, Agüita, Fuego, Fueguito, which means, water, little water, fire, little fire. Okay. And there's a version of it on Nahuatl, which is going to be also available as parts of the actual text. So it's going to be very, very, very beautiful.
Well, it sounds wonderful. I'm excited to hear more and hopefully get to witness those myself. You did have another question, and there were two variations on the question, which is how did you get involved in opera, and maybe how old you were when you were interested in opera. So you can answer that however you like in those.
Sure. So I actually got into opera not too long ago. I'm about to turn 30, and I started singing opera probably when I was about 21, 22. I had come from a world of musical theater, so music has always been a part of my life. I've always been singing and kind of moving and reading. I found a teacher that I was working with when I went to school for music, and they had kind of just told me, this might be a good fit. You might like these stories. And I absolutely fell in love with these big orchestras and big sounds and these really grand stories. So I've been singing professionally for about 7 years now.
Oh.
And for the second question, how long does it take to learn opera? Because
Yes.
my experience is pretty much like Jeff. I didn't start until, I was actually in college. And I switched careers because I was just enthralled with this amazing world of music. But it took, in my case, in my behalf, it took several years because you have to be on top of it. Of course, you'll learn the very basics depending on when you start, but you have to stay on top of it basically every single day of your life, and you have to keep your instrument working, and you keep learning all throughout your life. You just keep perfecting your instrument, and it's a wonderful thing about opera singing. It can be approached from many, many different points of view. There's different teachers that will tell you something, and you'll take that from that teacher. Another teacher will tell you something, and you'll take that. So you keep taking what works for you. And just to be concrete about the question, you won't get your basics until probably 3 or 4 years. So you have
Wow.
really, really hard.
Yeah, it takes some time to get that trained in your voice and your probably abdomen and all sorts of all sorts of places.
It's a whole body workout.
Yeah, and once you start getting more into it, you're like, some teacher will talk to you about your feet, and the way you're planted, and there's lots of different imageries, like for example, a bow and arrow for your diaphragm, or a barrel for your breathing. You have to feel like you're breathing with your entire body and with your back, not only your abdomen. So it's as I was telling you before, depending on the person and their approach, it is really fascinating. It's really, really fantastic.
I was wondering. Sorry.
Once you learn how to use your voice, you can basically venture into any style.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's really interesting. Wondering a similar question, if you have a favorite part that you've played, or if you have a dream part or dream role in an opera that maybe you'll never even have the opportunity to do, but if you could pluck from the sky, you would love to be.
Yeah, I think for me, one I did recently that was really fun. A couple of seasons ago, I had toured a couple of times with our company Opera to Go, where we go ahead and we bring short little 1-act, 45-minute operas to your library, to your school, to wherever we can make an opera happen. And I got to play this character Dulcamara in this opera called The Elixir of Love, and he is just this fly-by-night salesman who comes in saying like, hey, I have this potion that will make any person fall in love with you the minute you drink this. Like the first person that sees you, they will fall in love with you. The funny thing is, it's all fake. None of it actually works. But at least in our hero's case, Nemorino, it was just a little push to kind of help him out of his comfort zone and really just express the way he was really feeling to his friend, to this girl, Adina. Is it maybe the best tactic? Probably not. Wouldn't recommend it. But it's a really good story. And a dream role, I would love. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's not in my voice. But in this opera, it's a very serious opera. It's called Don Giovanni. There's this character, the Commendatore, and he comes in basically at the end. Don Giovanni is not our hero. He is very much the bad guy in this opera. And Commendatore comes in with all of the drama and excitement and just big energy. And basically, in a way, I won't give away what happens, but he definitely kind of saves the day in the end a little bit. But a very different fashion.
And on my behalf, real quick, sadly, most of my dream roles would be kind of out of my vocal abilities. I mean, they're all tenor roles, but usually stuff that it's more like a telo or like the spinto, like heavier tenor voices.
Mhm.
or even Wagnerian kind of style. But of course, I mean, Tamino from Magic Flute is a dream, or Don Jose, which is more of a dramatic or spinto tenor, would be amazing. I did the role of Don Jose with Opera a few years ago, and of course we take, you know, most of the arias, if not all, and make an English version, just like all the Opera shows. But that was very fun to do, actually. Although, you know, he gets his character is kind of complex, and he starts getting a little crazy and obsessive at the end, you know.
Okay.
Or Pagliacci, you know, when it's pretty well known that the tenor who's playing the main character, Daniel there, he actually goes a little crazy. So there's a lot of different beautiful roles. I mean, in the operatic world, it's just so broad, and there's people who have learned more than 300 different roles. You know, which is amazing. You know, what kind of an encyclopedic brain you need to learn so many different roles. But it's fascinating.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I want to thank you both so much, not only for sharing this lovely book and singing and helping us get some movement in our day, but just for being willing to adjust to this digital format for everyone so that we can still learn about the arts and, you know, experience joy together during this kind of crazy year that we've all had.
Yeah, no kidding.
Many more shows with you in the future.
Well, thank you. And of course, you know, if you are interested in having your own copy of the Armadillos Dream, you can go ahead and visit our website at houstongrandopera.org. I believe we do have those not just in English, but we do have them in Spanish as well, available for you. If you are having trouble finding that, or maybe you have another question or a comment, or, you know, you just want to drop us a line and say hi, go ahead and send us an email at storybook@houstongrandopera.org. We try to answer every single question that comes to us, whether it's about Armadillo's Dream, upcoming projects or performances. We will go ahead and reach out to you and try to answer every question as best as we can. So again, that's storybook@houstongrandopera.org.
Wonderful. Thanks again, and take care. Have a wonderful weekend. And to our viewers out there, just wanted to let you know that we do have another program coming up today to celebrate our centennial. At 1 p.m., we're going to have our first lunchtime travel series. This is going to consist of 2 short films that were written, performed, and edited and created completely by Harris County Public Library staff. So we, welcome you to watch that. It's also going to have a musical feature. It'll be celebrating music from the 1940s, and it was filmed at the Air Museum. So we welcome you back to that event at 1 o'clock. Thank you again for joining us. And please check out all of our great programming. You can watch things that have already aired on our website at hcpl.net. Thank you.